In this video, we are going to learn how to enhance our English by reading stories. So, we are taking a reference book 10-minute stories published by Mills Kelly Publishing Limited, UK. Hi guys, welcome to Weekend English classes. So, let us get started. Today, I am going to narrate a story. Name of the story is The Wise Girl, written by Catherine Wiley. There was once a girl who was wiser than the king and all his counselors. There never was anything like it. Her father was so proud of her that he boasted about her cleverness at home and abroad. He could not keep his tongue still about it. One day he was boasting to one of his neighbors and he said, "The girl is so clever that not even the king could ask her a question she couldn't answer, or read her a riddle she couldn't unravel." Now it so chanced the king was sitting at a window nearby, and she overheard what the girl's father was saying. The next day he sent for the man to come before him. "I hear you have a daughter who is so clever that no one in the kingdom can equal her. And is that so?" asked the king. "Yes," the man said. "It was no more than the truth. Too much could not be said of her wit and cleverness." That was well, and the king was glad to hear it. He had 30 eggs. They were fresh and good, but it would take a clever person to hatch chickens out of them. He then bade his chancellor get the eggs and give them to the man. "Take these home to your daughter," said the king, "and bid her hatch them out for me. If she succeeds, she shall have a bag of money for her pains. But if she fails, you shall be beaten as a vain boaster." The man was troubled when he heard this. Still, his daughter was so clever, he was almost sure she could hatch out the eggs. He carried them home to her and told her exactly what the king had said. It did not take the girl long to find out that the eggs had been boiled. When she told her father, he made a great to do. That was a pretty trick for the king to have played upon him. Now he would have to take a beating, and all the neighbors would hear about it. Would to heaven he had never had a daughter at all, if that was what came of it. The girl, however, told him to be of good cheer. "Go to bed and sleep quietly," said she. "I will think of some way out of the trouble. No harm shall come to you, even if I have to go to the palace myself and take the beating in your place." The next day, the girl gave her father a bag of boiled beans and told him to take them out to a certain place where the king rode by every day. "Wait until you see him coming," said she, "and then begin to sow the beans. At the same time, he was to call out so loudly that the king could not help but hear him. The man took the bag of beans and went out to the field his daughter had spoken of. He waited until he saw the king coming, and then he began to sow the beans, and at the same time to cry aloud, "Come, sun, come, rain, heaven grant that these boiled beans may yield me a good crop." The king was surprised that anyone should be so stupid as to think boiled beans would grow and yield a crop. He did not recognize the man, for he had only seen him once, and he stopped his horse to speak to him. "My poor man," said he, "how can you expect boiled beans to grow? Do you not know that is impossible? Whatever the king commands should be possible," answered the man. "And if chickens can hatch from boiled eggs, why should not boiled beans yield a crop?" When the king heard this, he looked at the man more closely, and then he recognized him as the father of the clever daughter. "You have indeed a clever daughter," said he. "Take your beans home and bring me back the eggs." The man was glad when he heard that, and made haste to obey. He carried the beans home, then took the eggs and brought them back to the palace. After the king had received the eggs, he gave the man a handful of flax. "Take this to your daughter," he said, "and bid her make for me a full set of sails for a large ship. If she does this, she shall receive half of my kingdom. But if she fails, you shall have a beating." The man returned home lamenting his hard lot. "What is the matter?" asked his daughter. "Has the king set another task that I must do?" "Yes, that he had." Her father showed her the flags the king had sent her and gave her the message. "Do not be troubled," said the girl. "No harm shall come to you. Go to bed, and tomorrow I will send the king an answer that will satisfy him." The man believed what his daughter said. He went to bed and slept quietly. The next day, the girl gave her father a small piece of wood. "Carry this to the king," said she. "Tell him I am ready, but first let him make me a large ship out of this wood so that I may fit the sails to it." The father did as the girl said, and the king was surprised at the cleverness of the girl. "That is all very well," said he, "and I will excuse her from this task. Here is a glass mug. Take it home to your clever daughter. Tell her it is my command that she dip out of the waters from the seabed so that I can ride over the bottom dry. If she does this, I will take her for my wife. But if she fails, you shall be beaten." The man took the mug and hastened home. weeping aloud and bemoaning his fate. Well, and what is it? Asked his daughter. What does the king demand of me now? The man gave her the glass mug and told her what the king had said. Do not be troubled, said the girl. Go to bed and sleep in peace. You shall not be beaten, and soon I shall be reigning as queen over all this land. He trusted her, so went to bed and dreamed he saw her sitting by the king wearing a crown. The next morning, the girl gave her father a bunch of wood. Take this to the king, she said. Tell him that I am willing to keep the sea dry. But first, with this wool, let him stop up all the rivers that flow into the ocean. The man did exactly as his daughter instructed him. He took the wool to the king and repeated what she had said word for word. Then the king saw that the girl was indeed a clever one, and he sent for her to come before him. She came just as she was, in her homespun dress, and her rough shoes, and with a cap on her head, but for all her mean clothing. She was as pretty and fine as a flower, and the king was not slow to see it. Still, he wanted to make sure for himself that she was as clever as her messages had been. Tell me, said he, what sound can be heard the farthest throughout the world? The thunder that echoes through heaven and earth, answered the girl, and your own royal commands that go from lip to lip. The king was so well satisfied with the way the girl answered that he no longer hesitated. He was determined that she should be his queen and that they should be married at once. The girl had something to say to this. However, I am but a poor girl, said she, and my ways are not your ways. It may well be that you will tire of me and send me back to my father's house to live. Promise that if this should happen, you will allow me to take the thing that has grown most precious to me. The king was willing to agree to this. Then she and the king were married with the greatest magnificence, and she came to live in the palace. Now, after the girl became queen, she would wear nothing but magnificent robes and jewels and ornaments, for that seemed to her only right and proper for a queen. But the king, who was of a very jealous nature, thought his wife did not care at all for him, but only for the fine things that he could give her. One day, the king and queen were to ride abroad together, and the queen spent so much time in dressing herself that the king was kept waiting, and he became very angry. When she appeared before him, he would not even look at her. You care nothing for me, but only for the jewels and fine clothes you wear, he cried. Take with you those that are the most precious to you, as I promised you, and return to your father's house. I will no longer have a wife who cares only for my possessions and not at all for me. Very well, the girl was willing to go, and I'll be happier in my father's house than I was when I first met you, said she. Nevertheless, she begged that she might spend one more night in the palace, and that she and the king might sup together once again before she returned home. So he and his wife supped together that evening, and when the king was not looking, she put a sleeping potion in the cup and gave it to him to drink. He drank it to the very last drop, suspecting nothing. But soon after, he sank down among the cushions in a deep sleep. Then the queen ordered him to be carried to her father's house and laid in the bed there. When the king awoke, he was surprised to find himself in the peasant's cottage. The girl came to the bedside dressed in common clothes. What means this? Said the king. My dear husband, said the girl, your promise was that I might carry with me the thing that had become most precious to me in the castle. That is you. The king could no longer feel angry. They returned to the palace and from then on lived together happily. Here the story ends. Now you should go through all the grammatical structure of the sentences like tenses, active passive, direct indirect, prepositions, etc. and read the story loudly by yourself at least 2-3 times more to enable you to understand it properly in order to improve your English. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like and share this channel. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, bye bye. Happy learning.